This is a review of Lake Compounce Campground, otherwise known as Bear Creek Campground. I'm going to be showing you the tent sites today and what it's like to tent here a little bit. So before I get started on that, I just want to show you over here. As you can see up there on the top, there's a smokestack, and that is owned by a company called Covanta. If you listen carefully, it's hard to do it obviously on a video, but you're going to hear a low frequency hum. That low frequency hum happens 24/7. It's constant. The reason behind that is it's an energy generating incinerator. So that is located less than 2,000 feet from the site, and you're going to hear it all day long. You're going to hear it all night long. If you go into Google reviews, you'll find that people complain about it on there as well. Haven't seen anybody post about it in a video though. I pulled out my decibel meter. That baby is running at around 63 to 65 decibels on the lower part of the hum. When it starts humming up, it gets up to around 70, 72 decibels. So it's probably not disturbing to you during the day, but when you try to go to sleep at night, you're definitely going to hear it. EPA describes any sort of background noise that's higher than 55 decibels as disruptive to human activity, and that is definitely above that. So something definitely to keep in mind. Bring earplugs if you come. My wife pointed out, you know, the ground sort of vibrates around us as we sleep, and that's very true. So it's something to keep in mind, especially if you've got, you know, any sort of like, sound sensitivities. So these are what the tent sites look like just as we wander through here. One thing to notice is how clustered they are. They're really, really close to each other. I'm trying to point out a little bit of trash on the ground for you as I go, because there is quite a bit. And the reason is because it's not really well maintained in this regard. They look clean, but in fact, like they even had workers the first time. We've been here for 3 days. We saw somebody walking through, and they were, they had a bucket with them, but the sites they went to actually still look pretty dirty. This is one of the sites that he walked through, and we can see here that there's still trash on the ground in many locations. And the fire rings were kind of concerning to us. Our fire ring looked just like this when we checked in. Obviously it hasn't been cleaned out, but also the amount of garbage. Even in our fire wing, we found that somebody had tried to burn some white picket fence, which is always a really, really bad idea. And so you've got these different sites around here, and obviously with that, you've also got these garbage cans. And of course, the concern immediately becomes critters. You know, if you've got all this sort of trash laying around, and I understand this is an amusement park campground, so people may not know quite as much about how to do the camping and clean up after themselves if it's their first time out. But, obviously, there are black bears still in Connecticut infrequently, but, you don't want to attract anything like that. Something to be aware of. Something else to consider with the tent sites, they are level, and you can see the trees have grown up around them because they use pine trees to put these in. That's good because you do get quite a bit of shade depending upon which site you're in, which is good, but they do have lights. So artificial lights are along the main road, all right? But if you stay back, if you got a campsite farther back into the woods, there's no lights back there, so it's not going to disturb you at all. I'm going to pan for a second and show you guys what the campsites look like where they're actually occupied. Right. So I'm just trying to take this picture to maintain everybody's privacy. But you can see here that basically all the sites are really clustered together, not really separated at all. I don't know why they did that. They put everybody in the same spot. We actually even requested that we be put away from other people. If you walk over to the main road, I'll show you that in a second. Right, so we can see as you come out to the main road, away from where we were before, on that side, all right, you can see here bear cubs. They have these little bear cubs set up. They don't get much shade, but again, they've got ACs on them, and there are tent sites on the other side. You're still going to hear that noise. No matter where you go, anywhere on campground, you're going to hear that, especially on this side where these things are going on. I'm going to walk down to the main building for a second and show you that. Right, so as we walk again back down to the main road, you can see here again how they clustered all the tents together. And in front of us now, back towards near the main entrance, you're going to see the welcome center, also the camp store. Camp store is open 8 a.m. and it closes an hour after the park closes, so you have a little bit of time to come back and get anything you might need. Now, going back to the fire for a second, they sell firewood there. They actually have a rule here at Lake Compounce. You're not allowed to bring your own firewood. Of course, that's a good thing. We don't want to bring bugs, but they also don't want you to bring in heat kilned, or heat dried and kiln dried firewood. So what they're really trying to do is just make sure you buy their firewood. It's $8 a bundle. The bundle is maybe one piece less than a normal size. You could buy 3 bundles for $18. So it's getting like close to Home Depot prices, but they're making sure you buy it from them if you do come here. This is the only potable water site they have here. It's the only one you're going to get. There's also nowhere to wash your dishes. So if you're somebody that comes here and you actually want to cook a little bit and wash your dishes, there's actually nowhere to do that unless you use the bathroom sink. They have also laundry on site, but even in the laundry room, there's no laundry sink. So you're not going to find an opportunity to do that. Just trying to stay away, give everybody the privacy. over on that side, you're gonna find a playground, all right? And there's some swings. The thing that's really, really big right now, Gaga Ball. They have a Gaga Ball pit, and you might be able to hear the kids in the background playing. They're having a great time. We noticed that like even our kids that are 6 and 9, they're over there right away. They're playing with a lot of kids. Everybody's having fun until the park opens up at around 11 right now, this time of the year. Besides that, let's talk about the restrooms for a second. The personnel and the staff here are very, very friendly. Same as in Lake Compounce themselves. Really, really nice people. But there are a couple things I'll point out to you with this. Bathrooms are kept immaculate, but there are only 4 stalls and 2 urinals. And the men's side, my wife was just telling me there's not a lot of toilet paper on the women's side. I'm sure that's just, you know, a hiccup. They're gonna fix that. But keep in mind, there's around 60 tent sites here. There's around 6 TP sites, which I'll show you in a second. They got the Bear Cubs. They service all of those, all right? There's an RV side, and there's also a cabin side over here. But again, those people are probably, they have their own bathroom. So we're talking about 4 stalls for 60 tent sites, just on the men's side. I'm assuming at some point you bottleneck, and that's a problem. Obviously, you wouldn't want to have that happen. If you want to get to Lake Compounce, as I'm walking this way to show you a couple other things, and I'll just show it this way so you can see what's going on as I'm walking. They don't have a tram service anymore. They shut that down, at least for temporarily. And instead what they're doing is letting you drive your car over. They give you a parking pass, which is pretty good. So with a parking pass, you get to just drive your car over. They give you preferred parking. You park as close as you can to the actual amusement park. You get the closest camping or parking spot. It's in the shade, which is really, really nice. So it's actually not bad. I like that a lot. It takes like 3 minutes to go over there. Pretty good. They have this little fire pit here. I haven't seen it set up once when I've come here. They do also have this pavilion. And the pavilion is nice because at 5 o'clock every day, they put on a movie for the kids. It's some sort of cartoon thing from what I saw last night. And it's pretty good. But of course, that's an hour before the park closes for us. So for example, the park closes at 6 o'clock. Yesterday, they started at 5 o'clock. So nobody was there watching the movie because it was just too early. They have a horseshoe pit. They have, and it's actually like equipped, right? They also have the cornhole court. And then over here, and I'll show you this is very nice as well. They have a volleyball court. Very, very nice, well maintained. I don't see a volleyball out though, so if you want to play volleyball, you should probably bring your own. We're gonna walk over and see the RV site just for a second, just so you can see what that looks like. And I'll tell you as I'm walking about ticket prices. All right, so ticket prices here are pretty good. They are $39. This is the 2022 season. They're gonna charge you $39 for a ticket to go on the first day, and every subsequent day, it's $15. That's per person. Adult, child is the same price, but that's pretty good. So, you know, that's, I think, the main advantage about staying at the campground. Obviously, the preferred parking, you go right up to the front, you don't have to pay for parking, and also the ticket price. Let's go look at the RVs for 1 second. So we just walked behind the main building, and behind the main building, this is where you're gonna find your RV sites. Okay, very flat, very nice in that regard. People say they like them because they're drive-through. I'm not an RVer, but they like that sort of regard to it. They've got electrical hookup and water hookup. There is no discharge station. You gotta go outside of the park actually to find that. And that's one thing to keep in mind, right? So hold on, I'm just gonna show you one more thing before we break. Right, so the last thing I'm gonna show you is they have these TP sites. They have about 5 or 6 going that way as well. One thing I'll tell you about the TPs from what I read online and talking to people, they're not cooled or heated. They have electricity inside, but it's something obviously that might be concerning to you. I hear that, like, for example, in October when they're still open, they actually don't have you know, any way to hook up a heater because it'll blow the fuse. So that's a little bit about Lake Compounce Campground for you. The question for me obviously is why I stay here again with my family. We really like the people, even though the campground's a little bit, like, you know, tighter for the tent sites. They are flat. We found some shade, easy enough. Had to clean up ourselves a little bit, but that's not a big deal. That wasn't a make or break. And the pricing on the tickets is great, and having the preferred parking is great. But that hum in the background for us is a deal breaker, unfortunately. It's disturbing enough that it's not comfortable to sleep in at night. So it's something to keep in mind for yourselves if you want to come over to Lake Compounce. Think about coming here and spending a couple nights. You know, if it's a good site for you, good site for your family, and look up some reviews. I recommend you check out Google reviews, that sort of thing, to see if it's going to work for you as well. Just one more view this way, and you can see these other tent sites on this side, more hugging the tree line. Pretty nice. Only one person got put over here. The rest of us are all clustered together. Don't know why. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the review. Have a great day.